Hello? 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 Urufu gang, hello? Where's the worm? What? What do you mean? I'm not a worm anymore. Why do you want the worm back? Hello? 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 No worm, no love. You want me to be a worm? Would you still love me if I was a worm? I think we proved the answer to be no. So I'm not gonna turn back into a worm. No. I have a maple drop in my mouth. Deltaris, thank you for super chat. Hi, Miss Uruka. I hope you're doing good today. Thank you. Thank you. I'm doing alright. I'm doing alright. How are you doing? How are you doing? How are you doing? How is Urufu gang doing? I'm doing okay. Don't mention the worm. Why? What's wrong with the worm? What's wrong with the worm? Is there a problem with the worm? Today we're going to be going over the phase orchestra. We must all put on our top hat and monocle and act extra dignified because we're going to be going to the orchestra hall. We're going to be meeting the members of the phase orchestra. You have to be dignified and well put together and all of that. You hear me? You got it? You got it? Okay. Make sure you dress for the occasion. Why are you so close? I'm just making sure that you hear everything that I say. I'm feeling better. I don't know why, but well, I kind of know why. But it usually doesn't last this long though. My stomach hasn't been feeling the greatest. I'm okay though. I'm doing okay. I'm alright. I'm feeling better than yesterday. And the night before that, I was dying on stream at the very end, the previous stream that I did. I've been living off of hot soup and rice for the past few days. I've been living off of literally like miso soup and ochazuke and rice for the past few days. It tastes good though. It tastes good, I will say. I love eating rice with like soup on it. It's so good. But yeah, I don't know why my stomach's been a little upset. Not in the like that kind of way, but not in like that kind of way, but it just doesn't feel very good. Puyo Fever, thanks for super chat. Shorter blood moon cycle means closer to menopause. The hell? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? I am first of all, brother, what? Second of all, I am nowhere near menopause, man. I am not a hag. I am not a hag. I am not a hag. Barely. 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 Skipped late bloomer and went full hag. Yeah. I'm not a late bloomer. There's no puberty because I'm just a hag. It was hot in here, but now they turned on the AC, so there's no more face flush, okay? Puberty. Tomodachi Life is a game for kids. Shut up! I'm reliving my non-existent childhood, okay? Shut up! Shut up! My 3DS was a graduation gift to myself, okay? And I'm living life in Tomodachi Life to the fullest. Okay? Okay, I'm living Tomodachi Life to the fullest. I opened Tomodachi Life last night, and guess what? My me lookalike was staring into my imaginary boyfriend me's eyes, and there were hearts around their heads. No better love story than that, guys. You're not gonna get a better love story than that. DK, thanks for super chat. Glad to hear you're feeling better, Blue Bear. Keep eating healthy stuff and stop rizzing us with early cuteness. What do you mean early cuteness? What is late cuteness? What is on time cuteness? How did you manage during the Great Famine? Yeah. Oh, you see. I just ate urufuge. I mean, what? Was he part of the Bobs or the Vegana team? I don't know. When you do the judgment thing, it doesn't show like everyone that's on there. It only shows one person. And they're the one that's giving the quote. Bobs or Vegana, whichever will it be. Kind of crazy how the me that voted for Vegana said, I think this one smells better. Now, I don't smell myself, but I can imagine it wouldn't smell better. James McPhee, thank you for the super chat. Feed the Tomodachi addiction. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. I got a crazy street pass today. I didn't know that the hub was on 3DS. That's kind of crazy. What? Out of all the devices that you can watch the hub on, why your DS? I don't get it. I am so lost. Basically, in Tomodachi Life, there's like this little... It's not even a mini game. It's just like a fun little thing. There's two sides, and you can write anything you want on the either two sides. And then the Miis that you have vote for either one. And basically, it's just like a random roll the dice kind of thing. It's like a poll, yeah. And it's completely random because they don't know what you're writing, right? You can write anything, and it's just random. But when they vote, there's always one me that they pull up to give a quote on like why they chose it. They'll be like, I just think this one's better, or this one has to be the right choice. But I wrote Bob's and Vegana, and the quote that came up was, I think this one smells better. I was like, okay. Alright, you're freaky. Close up Tasukaru. Gildio, thank you. I don't know why you want me to be close. Not really sure why. But, hi. time. But why did you write that? I don't know, because I got the option, like, I unlocked it last night and I didn't know what it was. And I didn't know what to put on it. And for some reason, the first thing that just popped into my head was Bob's or Vegan, and whichever will it be. So that's why I wrote that. And it it was great. It turned out great. They want to lick the screen. You want to lick the screen? Okay, hold on. Before you do that. That's disgusting! Ew, get away from me! Ew! Gross! You nasty! That's gross! Don't lick the screen. Ew! 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 Brother, ew! Brother, ew! Ooh. Nasty! Gross! Oh! Ew! Oh! Oh! Ugh. Get it now? Okay. Worst you can say is no. I don't know why people say that. There's so much worse you can say than no. Even though it will mean no, it'll feel worse than no. But Dusty Cadet, thanks for becoming a member. Welcome back to Uruka Gang. It's definitely not a cult. As you can see, we're in an orchestra hall. I'm currently standing in the conductor position. You know what? I completely forgot to include the orchestra staff, but I guess you can figure out who the conductor. The conductor is Sakana. I don't think I need to make a slide about that. Don't get any close. Don't get any closer. I have a gun. I'll make you wish I had a gun. Anyway, why is the conductor on the far side of the audience? This is not the conductor's spot. This is not the conductor's spot. I'm pretty sure this is the percussion. The music is not a score. But there are sometimes halls that have seats in the back, like the, what do you call it, the back of the orchestra. I don't really know why they do that. It's a little awkward. There sometimes are actual like seats, but like behind the orchestra. But I'm pretty sure this one's just like a percussion. It's based on the music that's on the stand. That is not a score. What song's on the music sheet behind you? I don't freaking know. This is like random percussion or something. You can't really. I don't play percussion, and also it looks like the same thing repeating over and over again. I think it might be a little hard to deduce what it is. Tato Maikato, thank you for becoming an Uruka Gang. Welcome to the Uruka Gang. It's definitely not a cult. Thank you. Thank you. Fancy yourself as a timpanist. I've never played timpani before. I've hit a timpani with a mallet before. But I just wanted to. I love 3DS, man. I love the 3DS. To the people saying the other DSs were better, I don't know, man. I've never played them before. This is the first time I've played on a DS. And it's so fun. It's so fun. It has so much soul. It has so much soul. I'm so glad I got this as a graduation gift for myself. It has so much soul. I love it. I love it. 2DS. I think the 2DS looks stupid. I'm gonna say it, okay? I think the 2DS just looks stupid. I don't want. I like the pocket-sized 3DS. Anyway, you had a PSP? No, I had a Game Boy Advanced SP. It was a hand-me-down. I got the new 3DS. Yeah. I got the new 3DS. Not the large version, not the LL version. The new 3DS, the normal one. Get larger pockets for the 2DS. It looks stupid. No matter how, even if your pockets can't fit it, it looks stupid. It looks like a tombstone. You had to be convinced to get a new 3DS TM. I did have to be convinced, but now that I have it, I am very glad that I got the new one. I am very glad that I got the new one. The old one, now I look at the old one and it looks so outdated. Woman pockets are small. I mean, I can't even fit the normal size one 3DS in my pocket. But I just like the smaller one. It's so cute. It's so cute. I just ordered a like a hard protective case for it. At first I was like, oh, there's no need, but now I'm like, this is my baby. I must protect it. This is my baby. I must protect. Anyway, we're supposed to be talking about orchestra. But I don't know, I for some reason I'm in a yappy mood. But we can yap about the orchestra. Protect. What color? It's white. It's white. I like it a lot. I like it a lot. I had the XL version because for whatever reason that was the one they decided to release first in America. I don't think they actually released the non-large version in America for the new one. I might be wrong, but I don't think they actually released the normal size version in America. They did, but it came later. It's so hard to find anything for the new 3DS. Like, it's first of all hard to find the console, and second of all, it's hard to find any accessories for it. You can only find the large versions. But I wanted the small one. So I found one. And yeah. Yeah. So, did you manage to get the bootleg plate? I didn't get the bootleg plate. I'm not getting the bootleg plate. As of now, I've decided not to get the bootleg plate. But anyway, did you get refunded for the Etsy 3DS? Yes. It was very easy. I pulled up the chat, the contact chat thingy. And I was like, I never got this, and they were like, oh, that sucks. Here's your refund. So yeah. It is currently sitting in front of me. I'm stroking. I am stroking his back. Yes, it's a he. My 3DS is a he. I just decided that just now. At least it wasn't a scam. I mean, it might have been a scam, but they're not the ones who responded. You know, I'm pretty sure it was a scam, but Etsy refunded me. We're reaching insane levels of cope. What do you mean? Leave me and my imaginary me boyfriend alone, okay? Leave me and my Tomodachi Life imaginary boyfriend and my hotter than Tomodachi Life imaginary boyfriend guy alone, okay? Leave us alone. We're happy together. Even though there's one that's hotter than him, we're happy together. Okay, maybe I might break up with him tomorrow, but you know, we're happy together. You're juggling two guys? Well, no, technically my me lookalike and my hotter than Tomodachi Life imaginary boyfriend have never interacted before. But I want them to. Cause I like him better than my Tomodachi Life imaginary boyfriend now. Yeah. Uruka, that's toxic. I literally created both of them. I'm the one who created them both. It's fiction. I want the other one. Madetogo, thanks for the super chat. Would your me boyfriend be still with you if Tomodachi Life had same-sex marriage? Yeah. Or maybe I'll be married to Clara. I don't know. Maybe I would be with Clara instead. Okay, but it doesn't. So we can't speculate. Metally Stable, thanks for super chat. My cousin had a DS, but I will always stand the PSP. I didn't have either one of them. So this is my only taste of like handheld other than the Switch and Game Boy. And so far, I really like 3DS. Like, it just has so much soul, you know? There's so much like interactive things and like the Mii games and the Street Pass. And it's like actually handheld. Like, you know, the Switch is kind of bland. I never played PSP before, so I don't know what it's like. What other games have you been playing? I haven't started playing the other games yet, but I have Animal Crossing New Leaf. Pokemon White 2. And Nintendogs. I started playing Nintendogs a little bit, but it's actually kind of boring. So if you get a PSP in the future, you gotta play Patapon. That's not only on the PSP though, is it? I don't think I'm ever gonna get a PSP. I don't think I would ever get a PS. I don't think I have a reason to get a PSP. New Leaf is good. I also have the Happy Home Designer or whatever. I don't know. But yeah, Patapon has a sequel coming out. So I don't need it. It looks like pretty much the same thing. I could be wrong because I never played it before. But yeah. So far I've only been playing Tomodachi Life, and my simple soul has been content. You know, it's probably a good thing that I didn't have this when I was like actually a child, because oh my god, the amount of time I can kill just playing Tomodachi Life. I don't know, but also like maybe I would have had more motivation to do things because I would want to play. You would get nothing done. Well, I mean, my parents would stop me. Like, I'm saying it's a good thing because I would want to play it all the time, but I wouldn't be able to. And then I would be sad. But I'm also saying that it might have been a motivator It might have been like my reason to live, you know? You know? Like I kind of didn't really have much reason to live because all I had was like things that made me sad. Who knows? Who knows? But now I play it as much as I want. Now I can play it as much as I want to. That's a messed up poor bear. It's in the past, you know, it's fine. It's in the past. I never actually like, well, I wouldn't say never. Most of the time, I was just waiting for time to pass. I was just waiting for time to pass. I wasn't trying to like do anything. I was just trying my best to keep up with everyone and waiting for time to pass as best as I could until I became an adult. So that I can freaking leave and live. Blue Bomber, thanks for a super chat. This is Abandoned Cub number 387. Will you be sharing the 3DS with us? It's dark and wet in the basement and we're getting bored. Well, I don't know why it would be wet in the basement. So you might want to check with the other cubs. There might be a leaky cub. That's not my problem. But no, you don't get it. You're not getting. I am preoccupied with it. I don't like that caveat. I mean, like I never like actually thought of sad girling. I guess it's one of those intrusive thoughts kind of things, you know. You know. But that's why bear parents don't want me to be alone on the 10th floor apartment. But like, that's like the worst way to go. Anyway, they were mostly just intrusive thoughts, okay? It's mostly intrusive thoughts and mostly gone now. So don't worry about me, yeah? Don't worry about me. I have reasons to stay. I have many reasons to stay. Even then I had reasons to stay. They were just so far out that it felt like I was trapped. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird thinking back and thinking how much like mentally you can trap yourself. It's kind of weird to think about. 'Cause I was doing my very best to keep up. I'm not smart by any means, so I had to like, I literally did homework for like 10 hours a day just to keep up with everyone. And it felt so... It felt like it would never end. And I was like I was so stressed out. But we're paving a new path for ourselves. And I can play my 3DS all day. No. Starting with Nintendogs. Sometimes you just gotta stare at the textbooks until they make sense, no matter how long it takes. Yeah, pretty much. And sometimes it would just never make sense. And then I would just declare myself stupid. And that was the real trap. That was the real trap, when you're convinced that you have to be smart to stay alive, but realizing that you're dumb. Mako Shark, thank you for becoming member. Welcome back to the Uruka gang. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Okay. Let's check out the Phase Connect Orchestra. The Phase Connect Orchestra. Heck yeah, Nintendogs. Rehabilitation, starting step by step, starting with Nintendogs. Are you gonna stream someday your Tomodachi life progress? Let us see your virtual boyfriend. I don't think I can, considering we have a JP branch now. I have to be a little more careful. And also there's like not a lot to do. Like in supermarket simulators, like you guys say that there's not a lot going on, but at least there's always something to do. There's always something to do, but in Tomodachi Life, you kind of just like do something and then you wait for like 40 minutes and then you check again and then there might be something to do or maybe not. So it's like it's not the greatest stream material. Yeah, and I also don't know how I would like actually stream it legally. Yeah, but this is a muffin. Thanks for super chat. Graduated high school, then college. You bought my first house, and during the move, my dad threw away my violin. No, I cried a lot and still feel sad about it. Anyway, what violin brand do you recommend? Thank you. I'm so sorry that your dad threw away your violin. Why would he throw away a perfectly good violin? Why would he throw it away? Not even like donate it, like throw it away. That's all. Like either way, it's still messed up. But like what? Violin brand. Okay, string instruments don't really have like brands. Unless you want to get like a beginning instrument, there's not really brands per se. It's mostly just by maker. So people usually go to like a local shop or something and just try a bunch of them. Personally, when I want to find an instrument, it's like really exhausting. Personally, when I want to find an instrument, I usually go to like 3 to 5 different shops and just try a bunch of them. And then I'll take like 2 or 3 that I like from that shop and bring it home. And then once I have all the ones from all the shops that I like, I compare them all against each other. Which is a lot of work. So if you're like not that picky, you don't have to do that. But honestly, I would just find your closest like violin strings shop. Just try some out and just choose one. If you're just playing for a hobby or something, like it's like not that big of a deal. It's not that big of a deal. But it would be easy. It should be pretty easy to find one that you like. If you're not like super anal about it. Because there's a lot of good instruments out there. Background noise, thank you for the member chat. How's it going, Blue Bear? It's going alright. We've been yapping for like almost an hour. And I haven't started yet. I haven't started the actual topic yet. It's a multi-day thing. Yeah, typically... you can go to the shop and you can say, I wanna try this one, and they let you like check it out for like a couple weeks. Because they know that you're gonna be trying things from different shops. How much does your violin process cost? You typically don't have to pay to try the instruments. Unless you like break them or something. They usually just let you take it for a couple weeks. Because it's a very common thing that people do, because there's like not a standard like brand that people use. They know that people want to try a bunch of them. So you can typically just tell them that you want to take a couple. Well, like I've taken like 5 from one store before at one time. They don't charge you for anything as long as you bring it back in time. But yeah, let's go through this list that I have made. I wish I could take out 5 grand pianos at a time. Obviously, for pianos, it wouldn't be. For pianos, it's all pretty standard. The brands are pretty standard. There's not like your local back shop piano maker. Like, pianos are more standard. Pianos are more like guitars, in that there are brands and like models that exist, and you can just go to a piano shop and try them all, and like they have all the models. But yeah, for violins, most of them are like one of a kind. So there's not exactly a standard model to use. But that only happens if you're a good-looking bear. If you're ugly, they don't let you borrow the instrument. No, man, why would they do that? Why would they do that? Every string player I know does this. And not every string player I know is beautiful. Like, I'm not. If it was true, they wouldn't let me take, I don't think. That'll cause anxiety, thinking you might break it on the way. Well, I mean, it's in a case. Like, it's in a case. Unless you're like really trying to break it, I don't think. It's pretty easy to be careful with it. Anyway, let's get started. Let me situate myself over here. My coat is huge, so I'm gonna take it off. Okay. Okay. Playing a string instrument is an insta plus 20% attractiveness. Oh, really? Oh, really? Sounds like you got some tips from Leah and Ember. Surely Bear has leveled up. I have... Well, I mean... Even before that, I think I leveled up a bit. Ugh. Due to Mama Bear being the catalyst, I have leveled up. Sometimes I have the pictures. Like, okay, I only bother when I like actually go outside. So sometimes I have the pictures from when I actually go outside with people, and they like show up because I have like the Google Photos slideshow, and I'm like, I don't remember looking like that. I don't remember looking like that, but cool. Okay. Anyways, let us. This is not approved concert attire. You're gonna get scolded. Look, this is not a concert right now. We are off hours, and I'm introducing the orchestra. Uruka has 5 violins, 100% attractiveness. I don't think it's by the amount of instruments you have. Okay. So I did this based on kind of like stereotypes, both the stereotypes that exist and also the ones that I have seen in my career, and some of it is just based on like vibes and also like pitch and stuff, like the actual pitch of the instrument. Basically a lot of different factors going into this, and it is very, honestly, very biased towards my perception of things, so please don't take it too seriously. It's all for fun. It's all for fun and games. So don't take it too seriously. I have also disregarded all negative stereotypes of all these instruments because I don't want to negatively portray any of my fellow Phase Connect members. So do not think of any of the negative stereotypes, okay? Okay. Instruments have negative stereotypes? Yeah. Most of the stereotypes of instruments are negative stereotypes. Yeah, because usually the stereotypes are created by like other instrument players, right? And they're usually like the negative things that they see about the other instruments. What's the one for violin? The stereotype for violin is that they are very big-headed and egotistical. Extreme main character energy. Okay. Fact check. True. What the fuck? Truth. Literally you. Excuse me. Excuse me. But anyway, we are going to disregard. We're gonna disregard those negative stereotypes. Yeah. So, Ethelian, thanks for the super chat. Sakana played the electric triangle. The hell is an electric triangle? Why would anyone bother to play an electric triangle? What is the point of that? Anyway. True, my sister played violin. Okay, the thing is like, that stereotype exists for like a lot of them. The like big-headed, egotistical, it exists for a lot of instruments because the other instruments always think that like the other ones are more egotistical. So like violinists, cellists, flutists, trumpists, oboe, a lot of them have that stereotype. A lot of them. But we are not going to use those. So the very first one that we have is Leah. And I have Leah is in the violin section. Reason being, she's a very high-pitched, but you still love it anyway. Extremely high-pitched, but you still love it anyway. Popular with lots of energy. She's very energetic. And popular vibes. Yeah. She will chase you down during breaks to show you a new piece she's learning. Violinists are always playing random solo pieces even when they're in the orchestra. And this radiates Leah energy to me. Is this a confession? No. I don't know how many people know this, but I'm not actually like a violin player. I'm actually a violist. I've barely played violin in like actual settings. Gasp, not the viola. The viola! But that would be the next one. Actually. So this is, I don't really know. I didn't know what to say for myself, so I kind of just put it, I just put random stereotypes. I put viola, mellow middle child energy. kind of just there. Honestly, just vibing. The violists in the orchestra are always like the least competitive people. You kind of forget that they're there sometimes. Like they kind of don't, like, they do care, but they're not like super hardcore about it. They're kind of just happy to be there. They're pretty chill. They're usually like the chillest section, in my experience. But also I am biased. So. Chose viola because we wanted to not play violin, but also not learn an entirely new instrument. I learned viola because I was given the opportunity to learn it, and I ended up liking it better than violin, so I just switched. Plenty of viola jokes. Like, I will say some of the viola jokes are like, there's some truth to it, but also the reason why a lot of violas like sound terrible is because the instrument itself is actually like way harder to control than the violin. Silver Dogs, thanks for super chat. I wanted to play cello, got stuck with the viola because it was easier to carry. Honestly, most string players wish they played cello. If you're not a cellist but you're a string player, odds are you wish you played cello. Like, it's a very common thing. But cello is so annoying to carry around. It sounds so beautiful. I wish I played cello too, but imagine having to haul that thing around. No thank you. No thank you. Viola scientifically flawed. Fun fact, viola is actually like a prototype of violin. A violin is just a perfected viola. The body of the viola is not suited for the range that it's in. It's not good for projection. It's not good for sound production. But it works as a good middle ground between violin and cello. And that's probably why it still exists. Yay. Knifer, thanks for becoming a member. Welcome to the Urf gang. It's definitely not a cult. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, so viola is a crappy violin. It is a violin prototype, but when a violist is good, oh my god, it sounds delicious. The rich sounds of the viola are gorgeous. If you have a good violist put with a good violinist, the sound of viola is just so... It's so nice. It's so soothing. It's so rich. I love it. Are you mainly a viola player? Yes. Yes, I am. Your cover the other day was so good, by the way. Thank you. Oh yeah, if you guys haven't heard, listen to my Glimpse of Us violin cover, by the way. Ha ha ha. It takes so much more effort for a viola to be good as versus a violin. Yeah. And that's not just... Well... There's a lot of intricacies to this phenomenon of violists sounding bad. Number one reason is because, first of all, some people don't want, like, good people with an ego don't want to play it because violinists have more stuff to play and they're more flashy. Second of all, the instrument is harder to play in general. Third of all, the bar for violas, the standard is much lower because no one wants to play it. Like, the viola epidemic. Is the viola easier to learn, harder to master? No. No. It's harder to learn, harder to master. But it's easier to be on an acceptable level on the viola because the quote-unquote acceptable level on viola is much lower than an acceptable level on violin. But personally, I love the sound of it. I like the sound of it much better. It's not because it's easier. Anyway, next up, tenma. Tenma is percussion. Because violin's more competitive. Yeah, but it's like a what comes first, the chicken or the egg, you know? There's a whole line of things that come with it. Why is it more competitive? Why is the standard higher? But anyway, I was gonna put Tenma in percussion anyways, but she specifically requested for me to put her as a gong player. She specifically wanted to be on the gong. Puyo Puyo Favorite, thank you for the super chat. Would you say Viola is a forgotten loveless child? Well, considering Viola is still written into orchestra, I wouldn't say it's forgotten. Although, like nowadays in modern music, sometimes people just completely omit the viola, so maybe it's forgotten. But, you know, passionate violists make up for the lovelessness. But yeah, Tenma specifically wanted to be on the gong, so I put her in percussion as a gong main. So for those of you who don't know, when you join an orchestra as a percussion player, you can't just play one single percussion instrument. So if you wanted to join an orchestra as a triangle player, you can't only play the triangle. Like, you have to be able to play pretty much every single percussion instrument. You can't just only play the gong or only play the triangle. So that's why I put her as a gong main, but in general, she's just percussion. Her parents put her into percussion so she would stop breaking things, because she smashes her video game controllers and stuff. So they decided to put that energy into something more something that can actually be hit. She also needs new sticks or mallets every 2 weeks because she's so forceful with them. Quite expensive. Yeah, it's percussion as a section. Yeah. So when you're in the percussion section, if you pay attention, if you look at an orchestra, you pay attention to the back of the orchestra, you'll notice that there's people standing in the back and they're like constantly running around. That's because there's usually just a few of them. There's usually just a few percussion players, and they share the instruments that they are designated to. So, Rooney, thank you so much for the raid. Welcome. Welcome, Raiders. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome, 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 Raiders. Welcome, Raiders. Hi, Rooney. Hi, Raiders. Hi, Rooney Raiders. Thank you for the raid. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so if you pay attention to the back of the orchestra, you will notice that there's people standing and that they're constantly running around. And that's because unless there is one instrument that is constantly playing throughout the whole entire piece, which is usually not the case, you're gonna be on a bunch of different ones throughout. So like, at some point you might be playing on the marimba, but then after the marimba part is done, you're gonna have to run across the stage and hit the gong, or the triangle, or the chimes or something. Yeah. Pass the gong, bro. No, you have to run over to the gong. We can't pass the gong. We would only see Tenma's ears in the back. So true. Sometimes the back parts are like elevated so that you can see everyone, but also the audience seats are sometimes elevated. I guess either way you would only see her ears though. Isn't it hard learning all those instruments? I am not a percussion player, so I cannot speak for them. But they usually have like a designated, like when you learn percussion, it's like there's a designated class for it. Like you don't just learn a single instrument in the class. Like there are private teachers just like there are for violin and piano, and they teach you all of the percussion instruments. Or there's like group stuff, I don't really know. I have done percussion for like a little bit, but I was very young and I don't think that would be a good representative. The Grease Man, thanks for the member chat. Conductor said it's my turn on the gong. The gong usually only... Okay, I can't remember, but there's usually not that many gong parts. Like, usually just a few, or like one. One hit on the gong, or a couple of them. Or sometimes you're doing like this like swirly motion on it to make it like rumble. I don't know what it's called, because I'm not a percussion player. Perfect role for Temma. You won't notice her running around due to her height. Yeah, it's not even distracting because you can't even see her. Anyways, next is Pippa. I put Pippa on the oboe. So I don't think this is a very like mainstream instrument. Some people don't know what an oboe is. But it's a very squeaky. it's an incredibly squeaky, high-pitched reed instrument. Which is why I put her on it. She will squeak at the most random times. Why not clarinet then? You'll understand if you hear it. Here, let me play. Clarinet, when it's playing normally, right? When a clarinet is playing normally, it's not squeaky at all. It's only when it actually squeaks that it sounds like a squeak. But when you hear the oboe, it just constantly sounds like a squeal or something. I don't even know how to explain it. Oboe demo. What does an oboe sound like? Here, listen. Yay. Yay. Yeah. It's a nice sound, but you gotta admit, it's on the squeakier side, you know? You can't hear the squeaks because he's a good player. But like the tone of the instrument, right? The tone of the instrument is more on the like high-pitched, sharper side, whereas the clarinet is more of a warm sound. I don't know how to explain it, okay? I don't know how to explain it. The mic on that, I don't know why they mic'd it like that. You could hear his throat noises. I don't know why they did that. It was a little gross, but it's penetrating. Yeah, but it's like penetrating, but in like a beautiful way, you know? You know? But when it squeaks, oh my god. When she's playing, it is unmistakably her. Because when you hear the sound of the oboe, you will never mistake it for anything. Seems like a loner, but is actually sociable. Is pretty true for a lot of the oboe players that I've met. I play clarinet, I love the lower sound. I have trouble playing the higher notes. Squeak is no fun. Yeah. Yeah. the squeaking is, yeah. But the normal tone of a clarinet, I do not think that represents Pippa. I think the sound of the oboe represents Pippa way more. Don Kel, thank you for the super chat. Pippa enchanting snakes for real, for real. I don't think that's the right instrument, right? Is a snake charmer? That's a different instrument, right? But anyway, that or a soprano sax. Saxophones, if you don't know, saxophones typically are not in an orchestra. They are not in the typical lineup for an orchestra, because the instrument saxophone was actually invented after like the general orchestra was like created. It was the saxophone was invented after the general lineup for the orchestra was made. And that is why you usually don't see a saxophone in an orchestra setting. It's too new of an instrument. Actually, I'm actually. Saxophone is a relatively new instrument, and it's like a very ergonomic instrument, I guess you would say. It is made to be made with as little imperfections as can be. Like, even between the different kinds of saxophones, soprano, alto, tenor, whatever saxophone, even between them all, you basically only need to play one to know how to play the rest of them, because the fingerings are pretty much the same. Either pretty much the same or exactly the same. I don't remember. It's like the most streamlined instrument. Anyway, Michiru, I put on the piano. She has a bit of a mysterious energy. They have all the same fingering. I think you can also play the clarinet. Clarinet fingering is a lot more complicated. If I'm remembering correctly, clarinet fingerings are like way more complicated than saxophone. Saxophone fingerings are very similar to flute fingerings. There's only a slight difference. But clarinet, I remember being very complicated. Because clarinet has the holes, and there's like different like coverage of the holes that makes different notes. I don't remember. I'd never played clarinet before. Oh yeah, okay, so Michiru opted for orchestra because she didn't want to teach. I say this because she has a little bit of the anti-social vibe. So pianists usually either most of them go for like teaching, or yeah, mostly teaching or orchestra, but it's really hard to get like orchestra positions, because first of all, there's not like always pianists needed, and second of all, the entire orchestra pretty much only needs one pianist, so it's pretty hard to get a piano position. But she opted for orchestra because she did not want to talk to people. She didn't want to teach. But also, no one knows where she is half the time. So but you know, she'll show up for when she needs to play. Fingering is a term for the finger positions to play a note on an instrument. Stop having your mind in the gutter, you gross, nasty sewer brains. Yeah, nasty sewer brains. It's called fingerings. Man. It's called a fingerings. It's true for literally like every instrument. Now NASA, I have NASA on the bassoon because she has super chill energy. Usually bassoons are like one of the most chill in the wind section. For one reason or another, they're like really chill compared to the rest of the winds. What's a bassoon? A bassoon is... How do I explain what a bassoon is? I can play a demo for the bassoon. It sounds really chill too, but let me show you the picture of a full bassoon. It's not a giant oboe. It's a double reed instrument, which is similar to oboe, but I wouldn't call it a larger oboe. This is what it looks like. It's a long stick. And it's double reed, which means that the reed is entirely made of the mouthpiece is entirely reed, as opposed to like a clarinet, which has a mouthpiece, and then the reed is on the bottom side of the mouthpiece. So that's what a bassoon is, and this is what it sounds like. Bassoon demo. Yay. Here, let me play a demo so you can hear it.
Hi, my name is Bassoon.
Okay.
I love the Peter and the Wolf.
Okay.
Or maybe as a broomstick that's come to life and to cause source. I hope that you'll consider learning the bassoon.
So that's what a bassoon sounds like. Cartoon instrument. The reason why you associate it with cartoons is because it's used in cartoons. Bassoons are really expensive. Yeah, a lot of wind instruments are really expensive. But like I think like I heard that the like standard professional bassoon is like 30K or more. I might be confusing it with something else. But wind instruments, unlike string instruments, have standard models. They have brands and models like iPhones, like iPhones do, like iPhone 16. They have standards, but professional standard bassoon, I heard, I could be thinking of like clarinet. It's somewhere either 30K or like 50K. I don't remember, but it's something like that. And I also heard that the most sought after bassoon maker has a waiting list of like 10 years. I heard. You have to wait 10 years to get your hands on one of these bassoons. Clarinets are like 2,000. That's only for a student clarinet. If you want a professional grade standard clarinet, I think it's somewhere around 20K. Yeah. Obviously, we're talking professional grade. Like the average Joe isn't gonna have a professional grade instrument. There's no need for the average Joe to have a professional grade instrument. But I think no matter what, bassoons are pretty expensive. Like even like a student bassoon is pretty expensive. I will not speak completely on that because I don't know entirely. But yeah, I put NASA as a bassoon because she has like super chill energy. Also, you heard it, right? Like I feel like the sound kind of matches her, you know? The sound kind of matches her. 30k is not the Strat of bassoon. I think you're underestimating how much a Strat costs. Strats are not a standard. Strats are way far beyond the standard. One of my teachers, professional violist. I think I told you guys about this. One of my teachers, professional violist, he was telling me about this bow he got, and he was like, "Oh, it's like really, it sounds really good, and it's like it's a really good price. It's really cheap for how good it sounds." I was like, "Oh," and I was thinking like professional grade bow, not even the viola, okay? Professional grade bow. If it's like a good cost for a good professional grade bow, I was like, maybe like 5k. I was like, oh, like how much is it? And he was like, it's only like 16,000. I'm like, my instrument doesn't even cost 16,000. What, brother? Like, so yeah, you have to understand that these are for professional grade instruments, which the average Joe does not need. So, but yeah, back to this. I'm pretty sure even like a random like standard student bassoon is more expensive than other wind instruments, just because the materials it's made of. She's also a hidden weirdo. Like you wouldn't expect it, but she's a hidden weirdo. And she's always just playing games on her phone during rehearsal. Some of the wind players do this. They put their phone on their stand and they just play games when they have rests, because a lot of the time wind players aren't actually playing. Like, I see sometimes violinists complaining about their like 30 measures of rest, but the winds have like 300 measures of rest sometimes. Like, what are you complaining about? Sounds like an old school cartoon sound effects instrument. That's probably because this is the instrument that they used for that. I don't think it's a sound effect. I'm pretty sure that they actually used the bassoon for it. Not during concerts, like during rehearsals, you know? During rehearsal, not during concerts. Although I have sat next to someone who did do that during a concert, and I was like, what are you doing? Like, do orchestra musicians pay for their own instruments? Sometimes, like most of the time, yes. Sometimes they have sponsors, sometimes they borrow, or sometimes they have like grant. So basically how this works, it's a little convoluted. I don't know how to explain it, but basically sometimes listening to classical music is kind of a rich person hobby. So sometimes rich people will come by, and if they like how you sound, they will be your like a guarantor, and they might like let you borrow something from their collection or something, or they might straight up just give you something. But most of the time people buy their own instruments. Sometimes you'll get funded by some rich person. But most of the time we pay for our own stuff. Old school patronage, yeah. Things like Strads are usually from that kind of thing, like patronage and stuff. Uruka Rich confirmed. No, it means that I it means that I sometimes have basically a sugar daddy. It's like a more refined sugar daddy. Oh, that's ew. But yeah, sometimes for like for instruments like double bass, sometimes the orchestra has a collection that you can use just because it's such a like hefty instrument that sometimes just like they have some that they can lend you. But for things like violins and stuff, most people just buy their own. So, how do you get a double bass on the plane? Usually, if you're a traveling musician and you play the double bass, you do not bring your double bass with you. You rent one at the place that you're going to. Like, cellists still have the option to bring theirs, but usually bass players just rent one at the destination that they are going to. Yeah, or they borrow someone's. But they also have these like super bass hard case. There's like these super double bass hard. These things are huge. I don't know how to show you the like scale of this, but there are bass cases that are meant for shipping basses, and they are gigantic. Because not only does it need to house the instrument, it needs to project it too. Protect, not project. These cases are gigantic. Like, you could genuinely fit a person in there comfortably. Like, they're really big. These are usually what basses are transported in if you need to transport a double bass. But you could, in the back, there's like a house looking thing. You can see how big they are. That's like 7 feet tall. I don't remember how tall they are, but they are very tall. They are very big. They look like coffins. Yes, they do look like coffins. But that's what usually people transport them in. Average Japanese apartment, no. Bruh. It's not an Iron Maiden. It's not a torture device. It's to transport a double bass. So, we were talking about clarinet, right? I put Iori on the clarinet because clarinet has a more like airy kind of sound until it squeaks. Which is basically a description of Iori. She has a more airy kind of sound until she starts squeaking. She seems innocent but is actually really weird, which is on par with a lot of clarinet players that I know. Why are you calling all your coworkers weird and squeaky? Because they are! In the most loving way. She's also like a very much of a rule follower. So she always has her tuner and metronome out, which is also very on par for a clarinet player. Are you saying Squidward is weird? Yeah, Squidward is very weird. Squidward is very weird. Yeah. It's a very beautiful sounding instrument. Until it starts squeaking, okay? But Iori squeaks are beautiful. Okay. I'm sure you guys all know what clarinet sounds like, right? You guys know what clarinet sounds like? Do I need to play a demo? Let's play a demo from the Utah Symphony. I hope they didn't mic this guy like they did the oboe. See what I mean? It's like very airy. I'm not gonna play a squeak sound because it is genuinely ear piercing. Anytime a reed instrument squeaks, it makes me want to break my eardrums. I speak from experience because I have squeaked on my saxophone before. Why is everything ode to joy? This is from the same symphony. I think they just did demos of all the instruments, all playing ode to joy. Yay. Mr. Yura, thanks so much for the super chat. And here I thought I would have been the it would have been the clarinet. I don't see Clara as a clarinet player. How's it different from oboe? It's a very different sound. Like the oboe is more of a like more piercing, penetrating sound. Like if it played over the orchestra, it would be very easy to hear. If a clarinet was playing over the orchestra, it's not very easy to hear the clarinet. It's like a warmer tone. A lot more airy. Yeah, the reed on the clarinet is a single reed, which means that there's a mouthpiece that houses the reed, which is like the reed the reed works together with the mouthpiece to create the sound. But a double reed like oboe, the whole mouthpiece pretty much is just the reed. It's the friction of the reed on the reed. Next up, we have Irie. I put Irie on the trumpet because she is loud, friendly, and outgoing, which is it tracks for the trumpet. She would constantly be playing that one wake-up call song that goes. I feel like she would constantly be playing that. And she will also keep playing when the conductor says to stop, which a lot of trumpets do. And I feel like that's something she would do. Like, if you guys don't have experience in an orchestra, there's always that one person who will keep playing even after the conductor says to stop during rehearsal. Yeah. It's a very trumpet thing, it's a very Irie thing, I think. Trumpet players get into the groove, man. Yeah, they get way too into it. Stop playing it, Irie, says Pippa calmly. Yeah. I think that would track. Where's the violin playing? What? I'm not playing violin right now. Next, we have Sheena. Sheena is on a less conventional instrument. She is on the mandolin. Because she might be in the wrong century, not gonna lie. She has warm old lady vibes. She's also very tired of explaining what a mandolin is. Makes so much sense, right? Right? Mandolin is kind of like a little guitar. Not shamisen. What Western orchestra? Tell me, what Western orchestra have you seen that has a shamisen? Not every instrument that exists in the world is in the orchestra. Mandolin is like a medieval guitar. It's like a little guitar. And it sometimes shows up in orchestra pieces. Yeah, orchestra sometimes has mandolin. It's not very common. But there are some pieces that you do use mandolin. There are orchestras that use a mandolin. And I thought it would be very fitting for Sheena. As a soloist? Sometimes? But like, I mean, none of the other ones were supposed to be as soloists. It's usually less of a solo, more just like a feature kind of thing. I played one that it was like a feature. I don't know if I would say it was a solo, but it was like a feature. But the next one, Panko. This one is a little, you wouldn't typically see Panko playing trombone, right? But if you consider that she picked up the trombone because she thought it was funny, and she is constantly emptying her spit valve and always playing the wah 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 whenever she can. Anytime something remotely bad happens, or just slightly inconvenienced, she would play the wah wah wah. And that is why I put Panko on the trombone. Constantly emptying her spit valve. The floor where she sits is always wet. Ever see the river of spit from the valve that just grosses everyone out? Dude, I've like... You can always tell, okay? You can always tell when a trombone player was in the practice room before you. Because I feel like trombones are like the only ones who don't care about where they drop their spit valve condensation. Like the rest of them, like trumpets, no matter how like big-headed they are, they usually drop it onto like a rag, okay? But the trombones just drop it on the floor. I enter the room and I'm like, it's wet again. The floor is wet again. Okay, yeah, but for those of you who don't know, it's not actually like... The stuff that comes out of the spit valve isn't actually like spit. It's just the like, it's the condensation, man. It's the condensation. It's not like they spit into the instrument. As a trombone player, it's just because we don't notice that we do that. Don't you have to like physically empty the valve though? Cletus, thanks for the member chat. Not member chat, becoming member. Welcome back to the Utva gang. It's Devin Nicole. Thank you. Thank you. We do, but not intentionally. What do you mean? Oh, you mean the... the buzzing? The buzzing? What are you talking about? As a former trumpet player, it is spit. As a former trumpet player, it is mostly not spit. Unless you're actually spitting into the instrument. It's like when you play into, like, okay, a little bit of it is spit, some of it is spit, but like the majority of the actual liquid is just like when you like bring your face to like cold glass in the winter, right? And you go, it gets like wet, right? It's condensation. It's not because you spit on the window. A13X, thank you so much for the super chat. Stradivarius silver trumpet. Stradivarius, you know if you flick your finger off the bell. The ring defines it. What? Stradivarius trumpet? I am so much of a string player that I did not know that Stradivarius had trumpets. What? Don't deny it, Utka, it's 100% spit. It's not 100% spit. It's like a mixture. Okay, it's a mixture. It's a mixture. But it's not mostly spit. I would say it's a mostly condensation. I only know what Stradivarius because of electric guitars. I think that's a different Stradivarius. I think that's a different one. I don't think it's the same guy. I'm pretty sure it's a different guy. Stradivarius. Stradivarius. Oh, wait. There's like one. There's 5 surviving guitars made by Antonio Stradivari. So it's not a common thing. It's not a very common thing. Stradivarius trumpet. Oh. Okay, I think this is just a trumpet that's named after Stradivarius. It's not actually made by Stradivarius. There's a line of trumpets called the Stradivarius series. That's a different thing than Stradivarius violins. A13, thank you for super chat. A Strat trumpet is around 3,000 last time I checked 6 years ago. Yeah, so the Stradivarius line, Stradivarius series of trumpets looks to be around 3,000 to 4,000. 3,000 to 4,000. But these are... It looks like these are a line of trumpets that is named after Stradivarius. The Bach Stradivarius trumpet. But the Stradivarius violins, the reason why Stradivarius violins are so... I wouldn't say popular. The reason why they're so like sought after is because they're handmade by Antonio Stradivari. That is why they cost millions of dollars, and you can't really buy one per se. You can't really buy one per se. If you have a Stradivarius violin and it's not millions of dollars, that's probably a copy. That's not to say it isn't good though. There are very good copies of Strads that are also very expensive. There are like 20K, there's like $20,000 copies of Strads that are also really good. But they're not like an actual, like they're not the authentic Strat. That doesn't mean it's not good, it's just not a like original Strat. Wait, I don't know how much a professional trumpet is supposed to cost. The word you're looking for is replica. It's not exactly like a replica. They call them copies. It's not exactly replica because I feel like the word replica more indicates like a display kind of thing. They usually call them copies. So like there's Strad copies, Guarneri copies, true limited merch hours. It's so limited. Yeah. So, well, there was a case where I think I have told this before, but there is something that happened a long time ago that I heard from one of my teachers that there is an organization that owned a Stradivarius, and one of the violinists was taking it with them, the Stradivarius, to play at home. But this person put the violin on top of their car and they forgot that it was there. The authentic Stradivarius, they forgot it was there on top of their car and they just drove away and the Strad just fell. And basically it somehow ended up at a violin shop and no one knew that it was a Strad for some reason. Like you would think that it would be easy to figure out that something is a Strad, but it ended up in a violin shop and somehow some lady ended up buying it for her son to play violin. They thought it was just a normal violin, so they probably didn't pay that much for it. They definitely did not pay the actual amount that it should cost. But the organization had been looking for the violin for a long time because they lost it. And eventually, I don't remember how, but eventually they found out that the Strad was with this kid. Yay. And they had to buy it back for a lot more than what that lady paid for. But imagine losing a Strad violin. Like, how do you even like, A13, thanks so much for super chat. There are only a couple of Strad violins in the world. Yeah. They're worth millions. Fun fact, they all had names. Also, there are several missing that people are trying to find. Their noise comes off volcano ash. What? Volcano ash? Wait a minute. Oh my god. Yeah, Stradivarius violins are very expensive. It's not easy to get your hands on one. But a lot of them are owned by organizations, and they lend them to people. They lend them to people that they deem worthy. So I have played in a quartet with a Strad player before. I have been in close contact with a Strad. I have not touched it, but this guy made sure everyone knew that he was carrying a Strad around. Like, Big Mac, thank you for the member chat. Volcanic ash is my favorite. Volcanic ash. I don't... Ash trees by volcanoes. I'm confused now. Was he rich? No, it was lended to him by an organization that we were both affiliated with. I played viola, so I played viola, so I could not get it because I was not a violin player with that organization. So yeah, if an organization has a Strad, they will lend it to someone that they deem worthy. Background noise, thank you for super chat. So are they really that good? I don't. Oh, it's good. I don't freaking know if it's like millions worth. The reason why it costs so much is because it sounds really good, but it's also because it's so scarce. There's so little of them. They're so rare. Yeah, yes, they sound good. I don't know by how much of a margin they sound good. But the fact is that they sound really good, but they're also really scarce. So the next member, Erina. That guy is dead and you can't resurrect him to make another. Yeah, something about like the aged wood also. The fact that the instrument is old. That's another thing about string instruments. I don't know how true this is for other instruments, but usually for a string instrument, you would want... Okay, nowadays it's a little different with the technology that we have, but before, old wood actually sounds a lot better than new wood. Which is why used instruments, like, they don't cost any less. Unless it's like a factory-made instrument, they don't cost any less if they're used. Because it actually sounds better a lot of the time after you use it, because you've broken it in and the wood has aged. Nowadays, the technology is different somehow. I don't know how they do it. I'm not an expert on the making of the instruments. But nowadays, a lot of new instruments are actually very, very good. Like, somehow, I don't know if they, like, pre-age the wood or whatever, but I have an instrument. One of mine is, like, relatively new. I think it was made in 2012, and I got it in, like, 2017. And it already was very resonant and it sounded really good. So like nowadays the old wood is not like the most necessary, but it is common that like the like high professional grade players will still want that older that older wood. There's also for bows, there's also like generations. I don't know how true this is for instruments. I haven't looked into it, but at least for bows, there's like bow makers who are like generations. Their families are like there are generations of bow makers. And something about that, maybe they do have like pre-aged. I have no idea. But yeah, the one that my the one I was talking about that my teacher told me about, the one that was 16,000, he was like, yeah, he was like, they're like relatively cheap. 16,000, by the way. He's like, yeah, they're relatively cheap and they sound really good. They're like comparable to like $30,000 ones, and they're relatively new too. And I was like, oh, how new are they? And he's like, oh, I think they're only on their like 3rd generation in their family. I'm like, oh, I think we have different like concepts of relatively new and relatively cheap, like so I was like, how far back do the other ones go if the new one's only 3rd generation? A13, thank you for super chat. They sound good because of volcano ash. It's why the wood can't be repeated. It's because it was a fluke. Please look it up. Stradivarius volcano. Oh. The Stradivari violins are believed to be so good because the wood they are made from grew during the Little Ice Age. The eruption of the Indonesian volcano Samalas is believed to have contributed to the quality of Stradivarius violins through the Little Ice Age. The Little Ice Age, which lasted from 1645 to 1715, was a period of cooler than normal temperatures, increased volcanic activity, and lower sea levels. The cooler temperatures and longer winters of the Little Ice Age are thought to have caused trees to grow more slowly, resulting in denser wood. Oh. The spruce and maple trees used for the front and back plates of violins grew more evenly and densely during this time. So it's literally the wood. The unique qualities of this wood are thought to have contributed to the tone of Stradivarius violins. The varnish on Stradivarius violins may have also contained Italian volcanic ash. The ash made the spruce bellies appear amber, and the maple backs resemble tiger stripes. Very dense wood. Yeah, I don't know. Like I've heard the Strad up close, although the acoustics in the room that we were playing in were really bad. So like I kind of couldn't really tell. So it does sound good, but I feel like you would have to like really actively listen to tell the difference, and you would have to put it like in direct comparison. Like if no one told me that was a Strad, I don't think I would guess that it was a Strad. A13, thank you for the super chat. It can't be replicated, so everyone wants it. That makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. Well, you know what? You know what they say? You just recreate the volcano. Sacrifice humanity. The violin's more important. Anyways, Erina. I have Erina put on the double bass. She looks serious, but is actually incredibly goofy. This is pretty true to a lot of bass, although it depends on like where you are. Sometimes this is not true, but from my experience, the majority of bass players look serious at a glance, but they're actually like the goofiest people in existence. Like they low-key kind of just like, there was rehearsal today? Yeah. And then they like show up and like golf clothes because they were like, oh, I forgot. So I was at the country club. I was at the country club and forgot we had rehearsal. So I just showed up like this. Another ice age probably wouldn't hurt. Just for the sake of violence. And she will play random jazz pitsing while having a conversation with you. This is something that bass players do all the time. And I believe this is something that Erina would do as well. You could be talking to a bass player about anything, and they would just be pitting random stuff on their bass. Jazz pits, what's that? It's when you like pluck the strings instead of using the bow. You know how in jazz there's like usually a bass plucking the dun 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 dun. They're always doing that. All the time. I'm like, can I have a face-to-face conversation with you? Not the bass? And they're like, no, the bass is one with me. Take the bass for a walk. So that's why I have Erina on the bass. Also just because her voice is kind of bass-like, you know? Remy! I have Remy on percussion. Remy is a triangle main. And she's low-key always confused, but she will never miss her triangle entrance. No one's actually sure if she's part of the orchestra or if she's someone's child, because she mainly just plays the triangle. I think it's very on par for Remy. We have a lost child here, yeah. You know, she shows up, she hits the triangle on the right beat, you know, she's doing it. She's doing it. Can she play the cowbell? She can't. Most percussion players play all the percussion instruments. Cowbells don't really show up very often in like sometimes they do. It's not super uncommon, but it's not very often that there's cowbell. But we have Remy on the triangle. Ding ding ding. Next is Rie. Can we get Sakana to ship all these instruments to the talents and make this a reality? That would be very expensive. Even like a cheap instrument, like the instruments that I was never like super serious about, even like my flute I think was like 200 or 300, which is not a lot in comparison of instruments. But if Fishman were to send a bunch of $200 to $300 instruments to people, there's a lot of us. There's a lot of us here. Shipping alone would cost more than the instrument. My flute came from Amazon. I bought my flute from Amazon. I put Rie as the flute. I actually have more than one person on the flute here. And they're based off of different stereotypes. So like some of them are contradicting, but that's because there's like different stereotypes for them. So I put her on flute because she is probably royalty for real. And that is like kind of a vibe you get off of some flute players. Ari, thank you so much for the super chat. Expensive, aren't there $20 violins on Wish? I tested a $20 violin that I found on Amazon and it was absolute shit. It was barely playable. I don't think they would have a good time if we sent them $20 instruments. It would be really fun if we could get everyone to play instruments, but I have a feeling that not everyone is interested in playing instruments. It had soul. Yeah, its soul was refusing to stay tuned. Yeah. Ipon, you thank you for member chat. There's no way Sakana could get a Strad, but maybe he could get a Goneri. You know, the funny thing about that, I actually have a Goneri copy. I don't have an actual Goneri, but I have a Goneri copy. It's still very good, but it's not the real thing. I really don't think you could get a Goneri either, though. Goneris are still expensive. Just because it's not a Strad doesn't mean it's not expensive. Let's see, cost. Yep, it's still in the millions. It is still in the millions. I don't think we could get a Guaneri. They make imitations like watches and bags. It's not like bootleg, okay? It's not the same thing as a bootleg. They're called copies, but they're still like very formidable instruments on their own. Like they're still handmade, crafted by people, but it's just that they were modeled after the original. That's why they're called the copy, but they're not like bootleg. Like they're not like bootleg like a AliExpress kind of thing. It's a one-to-one imitation. I don't know if it's a one-to-one imitation, but it's basically as close as close as they could get to the original using the means that they have. Yeah. Even the copies can sell for pretty high. Imagine getting one for your birthday. Dude, I don't know if I would want a Strad or a Guaneri. Like, I feel like it would be wasted on me. I don't really have a reason to have it. I don't have much reason to use them. Good violins are 20k up. I mean, it's like a personal preference kind of thing. Like for me, I have friends who would not even consider playing an instrument that costs less than 20k. Personally, like for my own use, it's probably because I am not like like a violinist, but honestly, like I could do in a professional sphere, in a professional setting, I feel like I could do with like 5k. But that's also because I am not a I'm not a violinist. I'm a violist. So, if I were like actually competitive violin, I might think differently. But yeah, Rie is I put as flute because she will make sure you hear everything she plays. She will make sure you play. She will make sure you hear everything she plays, which is very true for flute players. And it doesn't take much to realize she's actually a weirdo. Some of the members are hidden weirdos, right? Like Bassoon, NASA Bassoon. But it doesn't take much for you to realize that Rie, the flute player, is a weirdo. Yay. You need to believe in yourself at least a little bit. It's not a matter of belief. It's a matter of my own like ambition. Like I don't have I don't really want to be a violinist. Like, even if I do professional gig stuff, I do viola. I usually take viola gigs because that, first of all, that's my main thing. Second of all, oh, there's a lot of violinists out there, so there's a lot of violinists out there, and I don't really have the like. I don't think I'm competitive enough to play violin, like that mainly. I am not like, maybe back in the day. Back in the day, I used to be competitive, but nowadays I'm like, I'm kind of over it. I'm a little over it. I used to be competitive, but nowadays I'm kind of just vibing. A13, thanks for super chat. We'll make sure you hear everything she plays as she plays Moonlight Sonata for the 20th time. Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. Yeah. Much like violinists. So yeah, that's Rie. Well, you're a parent now, so your priorities have changed. It's very true that my priorities have changed, but it's not because I'm a parent. I don't know. It's just like, some rough times happened, and then I realized that, like, do I really want to be living off of competitive spirit my entire life? That's exhausting. Like, it's so tiring being competitive all the time. And like, if I have to live off of competing against others, because that's basically what it is, right? If you're trying to get an orchestra position, you're fighting other, like, obviously this is true with other jobs as well, but it's not as direct of a fight. But with like orchestra things and just like a lot of music stuff in general, you are head on fighting against other people for this position. And I am not about that life. I did it for a while and I'm like, this is too anxiety inducing. Like, the rush is great when you're young, but it's too anxiety inducing. Streaming is pretty competitive. It's not competitive in the same way though. Like, I am definitely not a top streamer by any means, but I'm still like, I can still hold my own in some way, right? If you're trying to get an orchestra position, there's not that many orchestras in the world, and there's not that many orchestra positions in an orchestra. So if you take into account the fact that, number one, there's not a whole lot of orchestras. Number two, there's not a whole lot of positions within the orchestra. Number three, the moment someone lands an orchestra job, they are not leaving. That's the reason why a lot of people in orchestra you see are old, because they get the job and they don't leave for like 60 years. Maybe more. Which is why it is very uncommon for a position to open, and once one does, the entire world is fighting for it. A13, thank you for this route. What's the next slide? That's a great question. I have to check to see. Belhan, thank you for the 5. Give the memberships. 5. Give the memories, members, membranes. 5. Give the memories, members, membranes. 5. Give the memories, members, membranes. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It does not pay you well. Well, if you are good enough and lucky enough to get into the most like popular orchestras, that is the only way you can make 6 figures. But the 6 figures that you make don't actually count for a lot if you consider that the most profitable orchestras that you can work for are either in LA or New York. or some other big city. So it's like sometimes you can make a lot, but it's very, very, very uncommon. It is incredibly uncommon. NASA, thank you so much for the raid. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. What about nepotism? Surely it's just easier if your relatives and family are already in one. If you wanted to get into a mainstream big orchestra, I could be wrong because I'm not like... I have never tried to get into one of those because I don't think I stand a chance, first of all. I also don't want to. I don't think for the mainstream big orchestras, I really don't think nepotism would play a big role. It might get you an audition, but you still have to be better than the other people. Usually for musician families though, they have other things like not a mainstream orchestra that they can do, like a lot of gigs. Most gigs are networking, like networking. You get a lot of gigs through networking. So if your family is a musician family, then you have a big network. So you don't really need to be in an orchestra unless you really want to. You could always work on a cruise ship. That's the ideal Uru life. I have gotten offers. I've gotten offers for a cruise ship deal, but like, I don't think it's a good idea. Like, I've heard from a couple people that it's not great. And it kind of sucks. A13, thank you for this super chat. To sum it up, Uruka can't hack it as a professional. Like, if I had the desire to, I feel like I could, but I really don't. Well, okay, what do you mean by professional? If we're talking professional in loose terms, I already am, considering some of the jobs that I've done. But I would never want, well, never say never. I don't really want to join a professional orchestra. That's not... I don't think I've ever wanted to join a professional orchestra. It's not really something that I want to do. Maybe like once in my life I've thought about it, but I don't really want to. Like I haven't joined any professional, quote-unquote professional orchestra. I've done jobs for them. Like I've done contract work for them, which is a little different. Like there's salary, like joining an orchestra on a salary is different from like just going on contract to play for one concert. It's a completely different thing. I have never joined an orchestra on salary, but I've done the other. I've done the latter. Makusu, thank you for super chat. Do orchestras get heckled like other bands? Like yelling out Freebird? No. Usually people don't do that. It's kind of taboo. There's like orchestra like rules in the audience that you kind of follow. That kind of thing is a lifestyle choice. Yeah, like you have to consider that you have to be really good. You have to constantly maintain your skill and always be practicing, which is like kind of not my style. Like, and also the fact that your life kind of centers around the orchestra. Like when the orchestra goes on tours, right? You have to go with them. Like, what if I don't want to? Like, What if I don't want to, huh? A1, thanks for super chat. If you were really considering, you would not be telling us about it, honestly. Why not? I could. I don't see why I wouldn't. Even if I was considering, why would I not tell? There's a lot of orchestras in the world. The majority of them don't pay very well, but there's a lot of orchestras in the world. I could see you being way too paranoid to want to go to certain locations for a job. Really? Because I can't think of it. I can't really think of locations specifically that would be too paranoid to go to. Well, I feel like more dangerous places, the orchestra kind of wouldn't really go in the first place. Lumi. Would Uruka hide that a new orchestra position is open for auditions? Why would I hide that? What? What do you mean? Lumi! I have Lumi on the harp. She is definitely royalty. Harp players, definitely royalty. To reduce competition. Okay, look, I wouldn't do that. Like, if there's someone that's better than me and they get the job, good for them. Like, I wouldn't try to hide the job for them or anything. I used to be way more competitive. I have mellowed out in my competitiveness by a lot. Yeah, I don't know. You wouldn't sabotage instruments of other auditioners? Yeah, I would totally. Yeah, I don't know. Like, Uruka reach the I have no enemy mindset. It's more like how do I explain it? Like, I always I do not know how to explain this. How do I explain this? I don't know how to explain this. Like, it is really exhausting to stay on top. Like, it is so exhausting. Like, the first few times it happened, I feel like it's because of luck. Like, I don't think it's because I was particularly that good or anything. I honestly think it's because of luck. But after the first few times, once people start to take notice of you, there's like a lot of pressure. There's a lot of pressure just to stay on top, you know? Oh my god, Adam Sandler, thank you so much for the 5 gifts and the members. Adam Sandler, I'm a big fan. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it, Adam Sandler. It's hard to stay special. Not special per se, but like, it's like I feel like I lucked out in the first times. But after that, it takes like a lot to stay where you are. And I did. Like, for a time, I did. It's a race that you can never stop running. Exactly. You can never, like, there's no resting point. You just have to keep going. Because at that point, there's too many people that have their eyes on you. And they already think that you are doing it effortlessly because you lucked out the first time. In reality, you're struggling to keep up. You're trying your best. But it's like it's so exhausting because not even the trying to stay there thing. It's not even the efforts of trying to stay there. It's the mental drainage of thinking like what'll happen if I get knocked off. Right? So eventually, I just learned to not care. Yeah. Like obviously I still care to my own extent. I care a healthy amount. But I no longer care if everyone thinks I am the GOAT. You know, like, you know. If some people think I'm the GOAT, that's good enough. But yeah, Lumi will nonchalantly pause the entire rehearsal to roll her harp over to the orchestra. Harps usually aren't there all the time, so they come whenever they're needed to. So they kind of just like roll in whenever they need. Lumi would be the kind of harpist, I think, to just stop the conductor halfway through, roll her harp over nonchalantly, and just continue. Steve, thank you for your super chat. Would you ever want to be a mentor? I think it would be cool to be. I don't know if I would be the best mentor. I think it would be kind of cool though. I don't know. I'm not a very good teacher. I am not a very good teacher. So yeah. Because I personally don't really learn with words as much as just copying other people. Which is why I wouldn't be a good teacher. Because I personally don't learn from words in the first place. Yeah, but when Lumi is playing the harp, all eyes are on her. All eyes on her. Do what makes you happy and stress-free. Like, I still have my own, like, goals for music stuff. It's not like I'm, like, slacking on it completely. And I still care to keep my skills on, at least above a certain standard. But I'm no longer pining for the very top. I've found something that I want to do, and I am kind of currently doing it. I haven't been able to figure out how to fulfill it completely, but I still have hope. And it's not something that needs to be super competitive. Ember, what's your advice for doing this? Mentee, LMAO, this sucks and I regret ever starting, but I can't help myself. Me as a mentor. Oh my god, I remember there was like a fill-in, like a substitute professor or something that we had as like a workshop person, and she straight up was just like, don't ever do this for a living. And I was like, why are you here then? A1, thank you for super chat. Are we still talking about Stratos? Stradivarius? No. Are we? I don't know. So, I put Ember on the cello because she seems like, I don't know if you guys have ever been in an orchestra or you've ever like known people in an orchestra or something. the cellos are always like in a click. Like I don't know how to explain, but they're like always in a click. Or like they're like groupies. They're like always together. Like no matter what orchestra, they're always in a click. I feel like Ember would be like the leader of the cello clique, you know? And she seems a bit intimidating, but is actually nice. The clique is actually like they seem scary, but they're actually nice. And probably has a six-pack. A lot of cellists are like, they have some sort of hidden strength. So I feel like Ember would be the kind that probably has a six-pack, yeah. Ain't you just burned out of competition though? Yeah. Yeah. I don't know, the competition life is not for me. The competition life is not for me. Because the thing about me is like when I have something that I need to do, I go hard. Like no matter if I like it or not, I go really hard. So when I was doing competitions, I was playing for so many hours in a day that like my bodily functions just were not like that's why I got tendinitis when I was 14. It's not healthy. It's not very healthy. And I decided that it's not a good thing. It's not a good thing for me. Some people are able to manage. But I get a little too into it, and it causes so much anxiety. So it's kind of not worth. Sure, it wasn't from gaming too hard. I didn't have anything to game on, so no, I was not gaming. I only had something to game on when I was like 18. I bought a Switch. Dizzy! Here we have Dizzy on the bass clarinet. Some of you might not know what a bass clarinet is. It's a clarinet, but lower. Huh. So, usually alone during breaks, but by choice, of course. Always by choice. Because there's only one bass clarinet. There's always only one bass clarinet in the orchestra. She's always in the practice rooms, but you have absolutely no idea what she's playing. You always see her there, but you don't know what she's doing. She will message you about a rock she found on the floor. There's always they're like a certain kind of weirdo. I say weirdo like endearingly, like I don't mean this in... None of the things I say in this PowerPoint are supposed to be malicious. Anything that sounds like it could be an insult is like more of an endearing kind of thing. Bass clarinets are like weirdos in that like there's only one of them. There's only one of them, right? So they don't really have like a section to bond with, and they're not always needed, right? So they don't really have that much bond, like they don't really like talk to people that much, or they're like on equal terms with everyone. So like they'll just message you about some random thing. She will just message you about a random rock she found on the floor. Now Jerry we have on bassoon, but it's kind of a little different from why NASA is a bassoon player. It's a different stereotype. It's a little similar in that kind of chill sense, but the reason why she's chill is a little different. The reason why she's chill is because she joined the orchestra to make friends. She's actually a work-from-home software engineer that's bored of her job. so it's less of a job for her. It's more of a hobby kind of thing. And she will totally actually at the conductor if she thinks he's not making sense. Don't forget she's a chain smoker. Okay, usually wind players are not chain smokers though, because they can't really play their instrument if they're a chain smoker, coughing all the time. Rooney. I put her on the organ. She was always playing toccata and fugue. Every time someone enters the room, she has to play da 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 da. For Rooney, every month is October, and she pretends to be evil, and that is why Rooney is the organ player. Organists are scary. They're so powerful. Organists play... If you didn't know, organs are huge. Like an actual full-size organ is the largest instrument in the world. It's gigantic. It is the size of the entire... It takes up the entire building. It's not basically a building. It is the building. The pipes are in the building. Like... I'm pretty sure there's... I forgot where it was, but there's like a Macy's that has an organ, and it's like 5 stories. The organ takes up 5 stories of the building. You're basically just playing the building. But that's why I think Rooney would be the organ player. Now, Amy. Amy is also a percussion player, but she's a different main on the percussion. She's a mallet percussion. She's a mallet percussion player. She's skittish like Hamter. She's skittish, but it works in her favor because a lot of the mallet percussion is very skittish. She plays the iPhone marimba ringtone to troll people. You know, the one like the dun 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 dun. She will play that to make people think that their phone is ringing. That's Amy. Amy playing 4 mallet marimba, I could see it. Yeah. So, if you don't know, mallet percussion is basically the... I don't know, how do you explain? Like piano type stuff? Like marimba, xylophone, glockenspiel kind of stuff. Hina. I also have Hina on the flute, but she's a different kind of flute stereotype. She's a different flute stereotype from Rie. Hina is the kind of flute player that plays bird noises during breaks. Fluttery bird noises. She looks really innocent, but she goes to raves after concerts are over. And because of that, you definitely would not recognize her off hours. When she's not wearing her concert black, you would not recognize her. Because she's an ABG rave girl. A lot of flute players are like this. Unironically, a lot of flute players are like this. I wanted a vibraphone, but I got told no because they're too big, so I just got a xylophone. Vibraphones are cool. The sound of vibraphone are really cool. Uruka's ABG rival. I am not an ABG. I am not an ABG, man. Why do you think I'm an ABG? Do you guys even know what an ABG is? Like, do you really know what an ABG is? Like, the people who want me to be an ABG, do you really know what an ABG is? It's not just the style, you know? It's not just the style. You will become one eventually. I am not. I'm not. I think Leah gave us a whole lecture on ABGs. Did she actually? ABGs are Asian baby girls. And they usually... There's a certain type of makeup that they do. It's like very like Western style with heavy eyelashes and like heavy heavy blush and eyelashes usually. Usually, not always, but the eyelashes are key here. They're not usually not super connected with like their... Wow, how do you... Usually not super connected with their like parents, like country. Like Asian baby girls are Asian, right? They're usually not that connected with the Asian side other than boba. Like, boba is their personality, and they go to raves and listen to EDM. And yeah. I am not an ABG. Play into it, Uruka. Become the ABG chat wants you to be. Why do you want me? Why would you want me to be there? Are you describing Hina? No. Like, I call Hina an ABG, but she's not like actually an ABG. Like that. She is not really what I described. I don't think Hina's actually like the most ABG, but she could be. I am not. I am not an ABG. Now, Saya. Listening to EDM is a funny personality trait, right? It sounds funny, but they actually make it their personality. It's actually their personality. Saya would be a euphonium player. She's just happy to be there, you know. Euphonium, I feel like euphonium is kind of the viola of brass, you know. Euphonium is a bit of... It's basically viola but brass. She's just happy to be there. But she gets annoyed when you call her instrument a tuba. But she laughs it off anyways, because she's chill like that. Sometimes she takes advantage of the above and blames her mistakes on the tubas though. Kuroi, thank you for the super chat. Apologies for bad English. Are you aware of this band called Chinese American Bear, just like you? Songs such as How Ma and Stars. You would enjoy it. Thank you for the super chat. No problems for English. Thank you so much for giving your very first super chat. Thank you. Chinese American Bear, just like you. I'm not Chinese American. I'm a blue bear from Faye's World. I have not heard of it though. I don't know what that is. Chinese American Bear. I don't know why everyone thinks I'm Chinese American. Like, like I've never said anything. I used to play the sousaphone in school, which is a tuba that wraps around you. Yeah, that's like the one for marching band, right? Uruka's Chinese is a conspiracy theory at this point. I think it's always been a conspiracy theory. Mr. Yura, thank you for the super chat. What's the difference between a euphonium and a baritone anyway? You know, that's a great question. That's a great question that I actually don't know the answer to. Euphonium, I think maybe one has 4 valves and one has 3, or maybe I'm just wrong. Google. The baritone horn is more tightly wrapped than the euphonium and has a smaller bell. Okay, so it's a more tightly wrapped euphonium. The bell is smaller than the euphonium. It's easier to carry around. So basically, the baritone is a compact euphonium. Yeah. So the baritone are more often used in orchestra brass sections, but the euphonium is more often used in brass band and wind band sections. So they're low-key the same. Okay, yeah, so the valve thing I was a little right about. Baritones typically have 3 valves. But sometimes might have 4. Euphoniums can have either 3 or 4 valves. So there's like very little difference. Huh. Euphonium is only exists in anime. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Huh. Chinese parents stream that went 10 hours. It was interesting. It's an interesting game. Interesting game. Chinese taste and ability to read characters. I mean Chinese taste. What? I can kind of read Chinese characters, yeah. Your taste in food. Maybe it's because I make a distinction. Maybe it's maybe it's because I make a distinction that you guys don't. But that's not really something that I can talk about. Muyu, thank you for... Not Muyu, not thank you. Why am I saying thank you? I did not get a super chat from Muyu. Muyu is a trumpet player. Thank you, Muyu. Thank you, Muyu. Sad you can't talk about it. I know. Like, I think it's fine. I think it's fine to like skirt around it a bit. But I wouldn't be super direct. I wouldn't be super direct with it. which is probably where this comes from, but I am unable to speak of it. Not that I'm unable to, but it's probably best that I don't. Yeah, you're subtle, like when you're talking about your other tag. But I am trying to be unsubtle. I'm not trying to be subtle, believe me. Well, the tag thing I am trying to be subtle, but I'm not trying to be subtle. I'm dodging the line as safely as I can. Don't we already have a trumpet? We do, but we have multiple trumpets. Just like we have multiple flutes, we have multiple trumpets. You were so subtle when you talked about how welts are formed, all right? I don't know why you guys think that's weird. Like, it's not a weird thing. I was talking about the concept. I was just talking about the concept of it. I suppose there's a difference between subtle and just being so weird people have no idea what you're saying. I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about though, right? I eased it in very slowly, but by now I'm sure you know. So, Muyu is a trumpet player because she's very openly a brat. Very trumpet-like trait. She will blast the horn in your ears, but the conductor does not care. She spends breaks testing the highest note she can play, and she does not care if people want her to stop. Thank you, Muyu. Stop putting the sob emoji behind her. Stop being weird. welts. Why do you guys keep bringing up the welt? I saw the freaking... I'm gonna be unsubtle again, okay? I saw the art. Why are you guys so hung up about the welts? Why are you so hung up about it? I saw that. I saw that, okay? You swore that was the only way welts formed, that I couldn't let that stand. I didn't say the only way. I said it was a way because you guys were saying that that's not a... You guys were saying it's not a welt. I was saying it could be. And also not in that situation. It didn't have to be in that situation. Why'd you choose that adorable picture to put up there? Because that's her Twitter profile picture. Rough times, thanks for chat. No politics. When is the Taipei street food stream? Oh yeah, I did a whole entire tangent on that. Would you guys be interested in a whole stream about it? Also, I'm planning to do a trial stay. I'm planning to do a trial stay in Taiwan kind of soon. I was planning to go there alone, but Mama Bear literally just invited herself. So Mama Bear invited herself for half the time. I don't really know why, but so she's also gonna come. Must be worried. I think it's less that she's worried and more that she wants to go there. And I think she wants to spend time with me. Mama Bear's low-key really clingy. she's low-key really clingy. In like in a I can't live with her kind of way. Cause deadass, she will just barge into my room, jump into my bed, and stay there for like 2 hours. And I'm like, what are you doing? Leave. Will it be at 10th floor? I don't know what floor it'll be. But yeah, I'm planning to do that, and stream schedule won't be affected because 7:30 p.m. over here is like 11:30 a.m. over there, which is perfectly manageable. So it shouldn't be affected, so you guys don't have to worry. And if it goes well, I might want to stay. I might want to go there for longer term. I don't know. We'll see. We will see. But yeah, if you guys are interested in a food stream, we could do it. Street food stream. Maybe I could do like a worldwide street food stream. We can explore different countries' foods. Kuro, thank you for the super chat. I'm from Kyrgyzstan. I don't know how to pronounce that properly. I'm from Kyrgyzstan and using Vtuber to help learn English. Oh god. From you I learn words like low-key and rosin. I see your streams as good help to learn. I'm glad you're learning. Thank you so much for choosing me to learn English from. I don't know if it's the best idea. I'm not the most well-spoken, but I guess it's easy to understand because I don't use the most complicated English. I don't know if rosin would be a good day-to-day word to use. People don't really use rosin day-to-day. But low-key is a very versatile word. Low-key is a very versatile word. I'm glad you're learning. Thank you. You don't speak super fast? Yeah, I speak pretty slowly and very simply. So I guess, other than the fact that I don't speak the most clearly, it would be pretty easy to learn from. My diction is not the best. Clara is a French horn player. She is easily one of the weirdest in the orchestra. French horn players are always the weirdest they're always the weirdest people. She's very openly freaky. Everyone bears with her weirdness though, because she's a good horn player. Good horn players are a godsend because bad horn players are pain. But they're easily some of the weirdest people. How freaky are we talking here? They're just freaky. You know? You know? French horns sound spectacular. Give it a royal sound to anything. Yeah, I love the French horn. French horn is one of my favorite instruments. Like, if I were to go in the band route, or like the winds. Okay, like, in the setting of an orchestra, brass are considered part of the winds, kind of. If I was in the more winds area, I would want to play French horn. But I played too many instruments, and my parents were like, no more. Mr. Yura, thank you for the super chat. As a former horn player, yeah, Clara is one of those, 100%. Yeah. 100%. Now, I put you as also a euphonium player because she's cool and chill. Again, not very competitive, very cool and chill. She would also be the type to also be in marching band because she just gives off that vibe, you know? She has that like cool, popular with not just boys but also girls kind of vibe, you know? The cool marching band type. If you ask if it's a tuba, she will say yes. Without a bat of an eye, she will just say yes. She does not care. Marching band, cool and popular. Where do you go to school? I'm not talking about school here. We're not talking about school. We're talking about an actual orchestra or a band. I don't know if you know this, but like actual professional marching bands are like considered pretty cool. Now, Pico plays the piccolo. Do marching bands exist outside of schools and military? Yeah, they do. For like sports and stuff, right? And at theme parks, like Disneyland, and probably some other stuff too. She is incredibly high-pitched. Everything she owns is white or pink, including her instrument. Always cheerful. I didn't only choose this because of her name. I did think of it because of her name, but then the more I thought about it, the more it actually made sense. You know? The pitch, the demeanor. Parades, yeah, parades too. Loki is a tuba player. She looks cool, but is actually goofy. Much like tubas are kind of like the double bass players in the brass. Kind of like double bass. They look cool, but they're actually really goofy. Sometimes forgets to bring her instrument to rehearsal, which is like how, because it's so big. It's so large. What? Likes to blast really loud low notes when you least expect it. That's Loki. And Memory is yet another flute stereotype. The third one, the third flute player in the Face Orchestra. She looks and acts innocent, and everyone believes it no matter how much evidence there is against her. No matter what she does, everyone will believe that she is innocent, pure and innocent. She is content playing the flute 2 part because she's just a chill one like that. Her flute is always as reflective as a mirror because she's very clean, very tidy, very cute. Very say-so and cute, yeah. Yeah. And that, my friends, is the entirety of our Face Orchestra. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. What did you think of the Face Orchestra? Do you agree with the majority? Do you disagree? Why do you disagree? You are the conductor or the violinist? I am the violist. We have the conductor as Sakana. I forgot to include him because I will also make him a loveless forgotten child. Forgotten loveless child. Gil Chatter, thank you so much for joining the membership. Thank you. Eternal, thank you for the super chat. I feel I learned a lot about instruments today. Yeah, I ended up yapping about the instruments a lot more than I thought I would. But I hope it was interesting to hear about. You forgot Sakana like how he forgets about you. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, so basically, Sakana is the conductor. And he sometimes yells at people for no reason. Not my tempo. Yeah. Would it be one of those super animated conductors or one of those really awkward ones? He would be one of the really awkward ones. I cannot see Sakana as a really animated conductor. If you guys have seen conductors before, some of them are like very active. He is not one of those. Sir Simbalat, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the pat emoji. Thank you. Does he ever throw his baton? I think he wouldn't throw it on... Well, I don't think he would throw it on purpose, but it might slip out of his fins. Because he doesn't have fingers. I have once accidentally been hit by a runaway baton. Because I was sitting first desk. And the conductor was like swinging really wildly. It was a wild passage, and then he lost grip of the baton, and it just flung into my face. And I was like, oh! If you guys don't know what a baton looks like, though, it's just a really thin metal stick. It's not like a baton. When you think of a baton, like a police baton, it's not a baton. It's just a really thin metal stick. Think he'd make someone play a measure till their hands bled? You know, that's a great question. I don't know. I want to say no, but also... I want to say no, but I don't know. Maybe. It's metal? I think so? The one I was hit with was metal. A lot of the ones that I see are metal. Conductor baton. Yay. This is what they look like. It's just a really thin stick with like a handle at the bottom. Most of them look something like this. Fukigen, thank you for the super chat. I just wanted to say thanks to your streams, specifically this one. I tuned some instruments tonight and played guitar for the first time in over 2 years. Oh my god. I am glad to be your inspiration. Thank you so much for letting me know, and thank you for the super chat. I hope you continue to play. It's so fun to play instruments. I hope you continue playing. Hopefully you still remember. Yeah. So I think our staff, the Face Connect managers staff would honestly just be the orchestra managers. Nothing too interesting about that. But yeah, I hope you learned something today, even though it wasn't meant to be like an educational thing. But then I realized that this is not common knowledge, so I hope you did learn a thing or two about instruments, and maybe one of them struck your interest, perhaps. Maybe you'll pick one up. Let me know in the comments which instrument you would be interested in playing, and I will show my merch. Wakeon, thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you for teaching me about musical sugar bears. Much to learn from this bear. What do you mean musical sugar bears? What? Huh? What? What is a musical sugar bear? Oh, that's what you mean. The sponsors, the sugar daddies. It's not a like I told you about it because it is something that does happen, but it is very uncommon. It is extremely uncommon. This is my 100k merch. 100k merch. Check out Uruka's limited time merch. Wow, just like a Strat. Yeah, it's basically the same as a Stradivarius because it's limited and you can buy it. Well, it's not the same. It's almost the same. Did you ask your coworkers if they know any instruments before making this? I did not. I was going off of vibes. I know some of them did play instruments though. But I didn't take it into account because I wanted to just go off of mostly personality. Because I know Pippa played clarinet. Leah has played violin. Some other ones too. But I wanted to do it more off of personality. Nate, thanks for the member chat. Yo, there's a merch. Let's freaking go. Let's freaking go. Percussion being really delegated to a single player is also really cool. Oh, it's not a single player. There's usually like at least 4 or 5 percussionists. In the section, depending on how many instruments there are in the piece that need to be played, there's usually like probably around 3 to 5 percussionists. If there's a lot of instruments, there'll be more. But it's usually not just one. This is my keycaps. They're beautiful. And this is the FU theme. And you get FU in different colors. The pre-orders for this one will end on October 21st, so you still have plenty of time, but The summer camp merch will be gone soon. Oh, what? Why did it pop out? Hello? Summer camp merch will be gone soon. Where is it? Here. So if you want your bikini merch, your Uruka bikini merch, or t-shirt, summer camp t-shirt, these ones end in like 2 days. Yeah, so if you wanna get the summer camp stuff, you wanna bundle together, make sure to order sometime within the 2 days because it's gonna be gone. Steve, thank you for the member chat. Uruka coffee beans are sold out. She hates us. Are they still sold out? To be fair, I never contacted anyone about that. I will ask. That is odd. That there's coffee, but it's sold out. Bikini feet. If you guys are foot bros for some disgusting reason, check out Lou Wood. Check out Lou Wood. Well, don't check out Lou Wood himself. Check out Lou Wood's website. He has art that I wish didn't exist, but since it does, I will just tell you anyways. Gotta rep your Uruka no matter how gross it is, I guess. Kuro, thanks for the super chat. Do you think Pippa is a good source to learn English? Maybe? I don't know. I don't know if I would say recommend. But pillow. I'm gonna say no. I'll say no. Dusty Cadet, thanks for the mem chat. Thanks for the year of music and laughter and Bink Sake. Took almost a year, but hearing it was epic. Good luck and have fun in anything you do. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate it. I remember Bink Sake now. I don't need the sheet music anymore. Spamium, thanks for the member chat. Super chat. Can't wait for the merch drop from your new outfit reveal Tuesday. Here's my pre-orders. There are no Uru Worm pre-orders. Do not be fooled. There are no Uru Worm pre-orders. But look how cute this keychain is. Look how cute this keychain is. 100k keychain. And I'm holding... Look, I'm holding Uruf Gang's hand. This would only happen in fiction. I'm holding Uruf Gang's hand. Isn't that great? And there's an acrylic plate drawn by Lucy, my art mama. Look how beautiful. Aw, look at you guys in the back. Aw, cute. Aw. And the bundle. Yay. Spamium, thanks for the super chat. Sad face. Yeah, keep trying. Keep trying. Maybe one day you'll have your Uru Worm merch. Keep trying. Thanks for the clarification. Yeah, no problem. Just wanted to let you know that I will not hold Urfu Gang's hand. Okay, that's all the merch that I have. Thank you guys so much for coming by, and I hope it was somewhat educational. At least a little bit. And if not, I hope it was at least a little interesting. So chat wants a worm, huh? You want the Uru worm? You want the Uru worm? Yes? No? Oh no? Doesn't mean no, does it? Oh no. My cursor is lagging. My PC is kinda... My cursor lagging. I'm lagging. Oh no. There we go. My cursor was lagging, I was lagging. I think we're good now. Oh, my PC's screaming. Yay. Hey, yay. Oh my god, I missed some stream elements from October 1st? James McPhee, thank you so much for the dollars, $100. Throw money at it and run away while it's distracted. Why do you hate the Udu worm? Why do you hate the Udu worm so much? Famous artist Pip-kun, thank you for the 690. Wow, Urka, wow. What? What is the issue? What's the problem? Mr. Yor, thanks for super chat. You better behave, chat, or I'll take out the worm again. Jesus Christ, Urka. Yeah. You better behave, chat. You better behave, or I'll take out the worm. Udu worm is quite literally bait. It is quite literally bait. Trevor from GTA. Ew, Trevor never turned into a worm. Ew, what? Ugh. Don't threaten us with a good time. A good time, you say? A good time, you say? A good time, you say? Make sure to get your Phase Connect Uruka merch at shop.phase-connect.com. Now, Uruka's hungry. Uruka wants to get some food. And Uruka had a good time. Yay. Did you have a good time? Frijoles, thank you for the super chat. Worm Oshi, my beloved. Hello, I am back. Did you miss me? It's throbbing. It's not throbbing. Stop calling it throbbing. Ew. It's speaking. I'm speaking. Udu worm looking solid today. Thank you. Thank you. I even put a little bow. I even put on a little bow. Where do you see throbbing? This is not throbbing. Ew. Ew. Gross. Ew. Nasty. Disgusting. So, Udu gang. Did you have a good time at the Phase Orchestra? Did you have a good time at the Phase Orchestra? How was the Phase Orchestra? Can you be my fish bait, Udu worm? No, I don't want to die. I don't want to die. Also, I don't think I would work as fish bait because I am the forgotten loveless child. How do you play an instrument like this? How about brass? I can play percussion. I can play the drums. I'll just slam my entire body on it. That's how I play the drums. Cruz, thank you for the super chat. Does the worm spit also? No. No. Worms don't spit, you stupid. You stupid. Why would I spit, you stupid? Gives an all-new meaning to spit valves. Why? Uruworm doesn't spit. Uruworm does not spit. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. Did you have a good time? Did you have a good time at the Phase Orchestra? I know I've asked you several times already, but I haven't gotten a satisfactory answer. I haven't gotten a satisfactory answer. It got kind of traumatizing. Oh. Well. Yes. Oh, thank you. Oh, so needy. You have a problem with me being needy? You have a problem with that? You have a problem with me being needy? Anyways, I'll be streaming tomorrow night. You are your mother's daughter. I am not as needy as her. It's cute when you're needy, but you hate being called cute. I am not needy, and I'm cool. Was ABG again? Was it being needy? No. I am not an ABG. I am not needy. I am cool. Napalm, thank you for super chat. I entered to that. I am traumatized. Pay my therapy. No. Pay my therapy. I'm the one that got turned into the worm. You need therapy? I need therapy. Why do you guys want me to be an ABG so bad? I don't understand. I don't get it. Why? You guys are weird. You commissioned it. No, I didn't. It just appeared. It just existed one day. I did not commission that. It is your destiny. Why is it my... It's my destiny. I will never say never. I will fight till forever. Whenever you knock me down, I will not stay on the ground. Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up, pick it up, up, and never say never. I need an explanation for you guys. Why do you want me to be an ABG so bad? I really don't understand. Do you understand the stereotyping of ABGs? Why do you want me to be one? Iguana, thank you for this react. Uruka the fridge. Why are you calling me a fridge? What? That's so random. What do you mean, the fridge? Intrepid Mercenary, thank you for the super chat. Uruworm looks like a thick blue Ew, why are you calling me that? Why are you calling me that? Why are you calling me that? You should demonstrate on stream. ABG RP stream. ABG roleplay stream. You're the one in hiding. No, I'm not. What the fuck? I don't understand why people keep saying that. ABG experience stream. My hobbies are going to Seaside Bakery, drinking boba, Thai tea, I forgot the rest. Keshi, listening to Keshi, Valorant. I don't... EDC, EDM, raves. Rave EDM music playing in the background. Alright, let's raid before my PC starts dying. I'm hungry. I am hungry. She goes to nude raves. What the hell is a nude rave? Ew. I know they're like very... They wear very little, but I don't think they wear nothing. We're gonna raid Amy. We're gonna raid Amy. And I'm gonna eat some food. It's very say-so nude rave. I'm never nude. I would never. I'm never nude, even in front of myself. That is unsay-so. Unsay-so behavior. I wear clothes in the shower. Laku, thank you for the super chat. Hope you're feeling better, stay hydrated, and change your socks. Thank you. Appreciate it. I appreciate it. I'm feeling better. I'm still like really low energy. But I think I just need to get my iron back. Okay, we're gonna raid, ladies and gentlemen. Uruka left the building, and I'll see you tomorrow. Make sure to get your merch. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment if you haven't already. Well, I guess you can't comment yet. Comment what instrument you would play, or your favorite part of the stream, or just anything. And smack that notification bell.